How are you doing today on this wonderful Saturday? I hope you're having a great start to the weekend and a great. I hope you had a great week. I hope you had a great work week, and whatever you did, I hope that you excelled at it. I'm really excited to share this with you. This is the EB04 Red Green Oden list. Now, before we jump into this, I did just pull this off the internet. This is not my personal list, so I would make some changes to this, and I'll talk about that at the end of the video after we go through the games and talk about the gameplay and everything in it. But you know the drill. I have a TCG Player affiliate link in the description, so if you're purchasing any cards off a TCG Player, click that link. It helps support me so I can continue to make content like this for you. If you're not subscribed already, what are you doing, man? Hit that subscribe button. It helps me grow. I'm trying to reach 5K followers. I'd like to try and reach it by the end of the month. That would be crazy. That's the goal. But I digress. If you like this content, smash that like button. Let's try and get this to 20 likes. That's the goal. You know, I love making this kind of content, and it just unfortunately doesn't get to reach as many people because there's so many people out there making decklist videos, and I want to be one of those people that people like to watch make decklist videos. And right now, I'm not there. I am growing. It is getting there. I have seen the growth, and I thank you if you are one of the people that comes back for every decklist video and every testing video. I really do thank you from the bottom of my heart. I'm not the greatest player of the One Piece card game, and I'm able to admit that. You know, I love this card game. I play it for fun. I love to collect it, and I love One Piece as an IP and a show, a story, everything about it. And that's why I play it. I play it to have fun with my friends, create memories, have good times. And I do have my favorite decks, and I do have decks that I just test with. And a lot of these decks are decks that I just test with. You know, I'm picking it up. This is one of the first times I'm playing it, and I practice it for a little bit. Then I record some games, and I show you, I talk to you, I give you my impressions, and I tell you what I think about it. Now, with all that being said, I'm going to be 100% honest with you because I believe in transparency, and I want to be honest with you. I recorded a whole separate video for Red Green Oden before this, and I had to re-record it because my dumbass forgot that this leader effect has two parts to it. So if you don't know what this leader does, it's Red Green Oden. It is a 4-life leader from EB01, and when it originally came out, this deck had a lot of hype around it. People were like, oh my god, this is broken. I think there's a lot of cards and a lot of potential here, especially with the new EB01 reveals and these two cards and different cards that compare with it. There's just a lot of stuff surrounding this leader, and everybody was like, wow, this is cool. It even got a couple tops, and people were really hype on this, but unfortunately it just kind of fell flat. However, now we have a little bit more support that really helps flesh it out and push it to that extra echelon. And let's just go through the leader effect, and I'll tell you which part I forgot. So according to the rules, your character cards with the type Land of Wano without a counter have plus 1000 counter. Dawn X1, when attacking, if you have a cost 5 or greater Land of Wano character in play, this leader gets plus 1000 power until the start of your next turn. So when I recorded the last video, I forgot that all my Land of Wano bricks have 1k on them. So I was just not countering with these cards, and I kept talking about how I had no counter and how I would change the amount of counter in this deck and how I felt like I was always on the ropes. You know, the games I recorded were good. I showed winning games, and I did show a losing game, and it just felt like I didn't have enough counter at times. And it's because I'm a dummy. I'm an idiot. I had small P brain, and I forgot to read my leader effect. So I do digress. I did more testing with this. I have fewer games. We're going to show 3 games today. I really hope that you enjoy them, and I do show off exactly what this leader wants to do and how powerful it can be. But I will be honest with you, I don't think this is a top tier threat. I think it's really fun. I think it has potential, and I think it's almost there, but I think you kind of have to build it for the meta, and I think it would have some really bad matchups. So let's go ahead and get into it. We're on 4 copies of Izo. This is from EB01. This gives you a Dawn on play, and also lets you get a 2k minus buff, kind of like what Ace Leader does once per turn. Next, we are on 4 copies of the EB01 Yamato. This is a 2k that also gives Rested Dawn to your leader. Really good, really powerful, and beneficial for this leader strategy. Pumping this out with Hiyori early is really strong, and also with the Izo as well. But I do kind of like the Yamato on curve, just so that I'm constantly giving my leader the Dawn. However, it is a 2k out of your hand, so you do have to consider that. Next, we're on 3 copies of Yamato. This is the Rusher, and also gives a Rested Dawn to your leader. This is another great card, but you cannot play it off of Hiyori. However, on curve, this is also a baller ass play. Next, we're on 2 Roger. This is a searchable slash character that ends games by itself. He doesn't like King of the Pirates, and he pairs well with Oden for reasons that I will not share unless you are caught up with the story. Maybe that was a spoiler. I don't fucking know. I'm sorry. This is a great card for this deck. You can search it with Perona, and you're always running Roger in red decks right now. Next, we're on 3 Momo. This is a searcher for any of your Land of Wano cards. Really, really good. We're on 4 Otama. This is a 2K that is also a searcher for any of your green Land of Wano cards. We're on 4 Perona. You should know what this does by now because it's in every single green deck forever until it gets rotated out because slash characters are broken. And they're all the good ones are in green and apparently in red as well. So Perona, searching your slash characters and also your DMG, really, really strong, especially when our main win con of the deck is a slash character. Next, we're on 3 copies of Kazuki Sukiyaki. I would bump this up to 4 in a heartbeat. This card is goated. It's a blocker that also gives a Rested Dawn to your Land of Wano type leader, so it is just a free Dawn every turn on a 3-cost blocker body. You can also pair this on your 10 Dawn turn with your Kiku Nojo so that you can get your Dawn on your leader, establish a blocker, swing twice, it's broken. We're on 2 Okiku. This is just another good body. It has good value and good matchups. I could see this being useful in Emu if you can keep it alive. Unfortunately, they do have Mars that can just blow this up, but if you're able to keep this alive somehow, I don't fucking know how. There's no protection in this deck. I do think Kojiro would be a good inclusion in this deck just to be able to protect some of your stuff, but this rest 5 costs, so being able to rest blockers and pesky characters is really good. However, there's other better cards to put on the field. Not often that you're seeing this hit the field. Next, we're on 2 Shimotsuki Kuzabaro. This is just a good 2K. It can rest stuff if you need it to, but most of the time it's just a good searchable slash in Wano 2K. We are on 4 Hiyori. This is a really good play for the deck. This is exactly what you're searching for. You like to go second with this leader, and you want to play Hiyori on your second turn to pump out one of your 5 costs immediately. So exactly what you want to do. Also gets you a draw, also searchable, very strong card. Next, we're on 2 copies of the new 4-cost Oden. This, on your opponent's turn, if this character is rested, it gains plus 2k power. So if you need a body on the field, this is a good one to put because it becomes 7k on your opponent's turn, making it hard for them to kill. It also has a 2k counter on it. It is also searchable by all of your searchers. Next, we are on Denjiro, again, searchable by all of your searchers, and it is a 5/7 that restands Dawn if your leader's Oden. Just a good card, really, really strong in Green Oden. We actually did a Green Oden testing video. If you haven't seen that, go check that out because that was a lot of fun. And I think that this leader takes a little bit, not as much advantage of it as Green Oden did, but this is a great option to have on the field. I just like my Dawn movers a little bit more. However, this is another good one. Next, we're on Kiku Nojo. This is the new card from EB04. This is kind of the reason that we're making this video and people are talking about this leader. It's a 7/8. Activate main. If this character was played on this turn, set your Land of Wano type leader as active. So you play this and you make sure your Dawn, there's a Dawn on your leader. You play this, you swing, you become 6k, restand, become 7k. Really, really strong, really, really powerful, and you're establishing an 8k body that is also searchable by all 3 of your searchers. Very strong, very effective. And when you pair it with your blockers or your Dawn movers, you're just starting to generate advantage and really pressure your opponent. I really like to pressure face with this deck just because you're swinging at least 7k every time you swing with this guy. So you're always asking for 2+ cards. So pressuring face, especially with cards like Izo on the field as well, and the Yamato, you're asking for 7. You're asking for 2 cards, 2 cards, 2 cards, and then you play this and you're asking for 3 cards. Like, it's just so broken. Next, we're on 2 Oden from O2. This is just another good body to put on the field if you have to. Just being able to double attack with this on top of your leader effect, like, really, really strong. However, I almost like Kiku Nojo better. I don't know, being able to be a 7k leader is really strong. However, this does come up in certain matchups. I could see it coming up. I never really put it on the field myself, but if it dies, you also get to play a 3-cost Land of Wano type character from your deck. So that could be your Shimotsuki, that could be your Okiku, and that could be your Sukiyaki. It has to be 3. It's not 3 or less. It has to be 3. So it is one of these 3 targets. So you have aggressive, and then you have, I guess, a rester if you really, really need to rest a 2 or less, or you have a blocker. So really strong. And then finally, we're on 3 DMG. This is a staple in every single green deck now. I don't know why you wouldn't run this in any green list. So with that being said, the things I would change, like I said, I would add more Sukiyaki. I would probably add another one of these Yamatos. I think this card is also really, really good, especially considering that all of your bricks that are Land of Wano have 1Ks on them. I'd probably go 1 more Yamato, 1 less Denjiro, just because I like the rush on this. I think it's good for those matchups that you need to be a little more aggressive. The only downfall is not being able to play it off of Hiyori, but going second, your ideal curve is a searcher into Hiyori on turn 2, into Hiyori on turn 2, into something like Izo, and then turn 3 you play Yamato so that you're able to stick that extra Dawn on your leader every turn, and you're rushing for 7-7-8. Really strong, or 7-7-7. Really strong. Really like it. Let's go ahead and jump into the games. All right, y'all, let's go ahead and get into the first game. That's going to be against Blue Purple Sanji. I haven't tested against this deck too much, and I kind of forgot how fucking good this deck is, man. If it's piloted right, you see the right pieces, you play the right cards, God, it's so good. I really do think Sanji is super slept on. I also think this Oden deck is super slept on. After the testing I've done, it's good. It just feels like it's missing something. I don't really know, but he starts off with some cards that let him search, and then he gets some draws because he has 6 cards in hand with that Boof Burst, and he kills my Momonosuke. I use Otama to search out a Hiyori, but I need a nice 5 cost to play off of it, and unfortunately I missed my Hiyori on 4 Dawn. That's really the optimal play, is you want to play Hiyori into 5 cost, something like Izo or your Denjiro or your Yamato. Just anything that you can put on the board that is going to let your leader effect fire for the next turn, and especially the cards like Denjiro being able to restand some Dawn is super helpful. The Izo attaching the Dawn on play is super helpful, but that Yamato, the 2K, being able to attach the Dawn every turn is really good. But I really like it on the Kazuki Sukiyaki. He is very strong, being able to be a blocker that attaches Rested Dawn every single turn. Very good. But I do pump out that Izo here, get a draw into an Okiku, and we like that. All these bricks, it's fine because they're all 1Ks. They just say 1K counter on it. It's just invisible ink. It's just hiding, right? So I am a 6K leader here, but here we go. And this is where I think Sanji really gets that boost is EB03. They get that new Reiju that lets them copy events in their trash. You know, I can't really test against EB04 Sanji without the EB03 cards because there's just not a format for that on the sim right now, I don't believe. And there should be soon for the West, but it's just not yet. I don't think. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. Fuck it. He's playing this Reiju, and it lets him copy an event from his trash on play. So what they like to do is they like to fill up their event with trash, their trash with events like Red Rock and Grav Blade and their draw events, and they play Jozu to bounce their Reiju, and the next turn they just do it again, and they do it again, and they do it again. So I like next turn, no matter what I play here, I can just expect it to get Red Rocked. So I'm okay with that. I've got the blocker on field. I put another one, so I'm able to get 2 Rested Dawn a turn, and I'm insulated by 2 life basically just by having 2 blockers on field. I slam down that QQ, I get that 8K swing in there, and I'm going to be able to restand and go for 9, which feels really good. I'm just asking him for so many cards, and he has a big blocker on field, but it doesn't really matter. You know, he can either give me the blocker, he can give me cards in hand, or he can give me the life. I don't really care. I'm a 3 life, double blocker, I have a big body, but like I said, I can just expect it to get Red Rock. And this is maybe where you make an argument to play a card like Tashiki in the list to help prevent your removal. But at the same time, like, it's kind of whatever. I play powerful bodies every turn that if they want to remove, they're going to have to. So I'm thinking about my turn here, and I'm going to go Perona. I'm going to find... I thought about taking this Roger because that's fucking hilarious. Searching Roger is so funny. I never realized you could do that. I wanted to take the Izo, but it's not a slash. I take the DMG. Good enough for now. And I'm going to search again. I'm going to try and find something else. I find another Kiku Nojo, and I already had one. I should have just taken... a counter, but I don't really think there was one there. I couldn't take the red ones because Otama only adds green Wano cards for whatever reason. But I play the Kiku, I swing again for 8, I restand, swing again for 9, asking them for them blockers, asking them for the cards out of hand. They already gave me a giant. They're gonna give me the Concassor, and the Reiju to round it out to a 10K. And now I'm sitting here 7K lead. I have 2 2Ks and 3 1Ks and a 3K event and 2 blocker. I'm feeling so good. It doesn't really matter what is done here, I don't think, because next turn I can just swing a bunch, and I can, if I'm able to save that Dead Man's Game, I can rest down their blockers, and that will feel really good. I can just kind of try to go for lethal, and even if not, I feel like I'll probably be insulated for the next turn, because he's low on Dawn. He only has what, 8 here, so he has to divvy up his Dawn in a way that he swings 7 7 9 9, I guess. So he's gonna go 9 first, actually, and I'm kind of okay with this. I kind of just want to take it. I can counter, but I'm not really scared of dying here, and I get a 2K out of life, which feels good. I can just give them a 1K brick here. I can give them another 1K here. I'm keeping that Kiku Nojo because I want to be able to restand again next turn. Unfortunately, the DMG cannot be played the same turn as the Kikunojo. So if I don't, I just have to be wary of that. So I'm going to rest down these blockers, and I'm going to get rid of that pudding, because that pudding is a plus 2k, and I do not like that. On top of being a blocker. Really, really good. So I'm thinking about how to divvy up the Dawn here to go for lethal, and I'm thinking 11-11. Even if he has counter events, like this is going to put him in a pressure position where he's going to have to give me everything in his hand to stay alive, and next turn I don't think he kills me anyway. I have double blockers. So I go 11 again, and he does have the Concasseur, and he also has a another event to go up to whatever, so leaves him with one card in hand. But he trashed a Grab Blade here, and he starts typing, and he's like, I think I had it if I didn't trash Grab Blade. And I'm gonna evaluate that now, because in the moment I did agree with that. But let's think about this. So Grab Blade puts him down to 3 Dawn. I have no more blockers. I'm a 6k leader. He has 3 Dawn, and he has a 7k, a 7k, a 5k, an 8k, and a 5k. He can go 6, 7, 7, 7, 8. So I can counter out of the 6 with the Izo. And then he goes 7, I can give him a 2k. He goes 7, I can give him a 2k. He goes 7, I can give him a 2k. And then all he's left with is an 8k swing. So I take that. I don't think the Grab Blade would have gotten him there. I wish we could have played it out and saw. He said he was going to try to loop the Reiju, because if he could bounce the Reiju with the Jozu, he'd be able to. He just doesn't have enough Dawn. That's not possible. But the Grab Blade, like I said, let's do the math again, because 7, it leaves him with 3, and he goes 6. I give him 1. He goes 7. I give him 2. He goes 7. I give him 2. 7. I give him 2. 8. I take. Yeah, I just had math. Unless he did something weird. I don't think. Without the Grab Blade, like I block 1 or I counter. I don't know. It depends on how he divvied up his Dawn here, but we won't know because he conceded. However, if he did Grab Blade here, I think I still won. Props to you, though. This was a really good game, really fun game. If you are watching this, I did have a blast and trying to figure this out. I do think I still had it counter-wise if you had the Grab Blade, but I think if you divvied up your Dawn here, it might have been a different story. Like, if you go 8, I have to give you 2 and a 1. And you go 8, I give you 2 and a 1. You go 8, I block. 8, I block. Yeah, maybe if you bounce with Jozu. 6, I leave you with 4. No, I don't know. I don't know if there was a way to win that turn or not. But I digress. Let's not dwell on it. Let's go ahead and jump into the next game. All right, y'all, we are in the second game, and this is going to be against Ivankov. This is another deck that got some boosts out of OP14. Just a couple random cards. They got the Hannibal and the Shiryu, both of which are insanely strong for this leader. Definitely something I still want to test out. I did play Ivankov a little bit back in the day, back at around 03, 02 format. I was messing with it, but haven't touched it since. Still super strong. They've got the stackers over there trying to set up their deck, set up their low hand size, and I've got the Sukiyaki to be able to start getting my Dawn to my leader, and next turn I can play into that Denjiro or the Yamato, whichever one I want, and I've got the free Dawn movement, and I've got all the attacks. They go in with this buggy here. I was not expecting it. I do give them the 1k, and I'm just going to take this next one. I'm not too worried about it. You know, if they start double summoning, I think I'll be okay as long as I can insulate myself by becoming a 7k. Because they like to swing a lot of 7s and 9s in this deck. So if I can stay 7 with the Kikunojos, I should be okay. I find that Izo, I was going to play the Yamato, but I find the Izo, which I think is better, especially if they start spamming the 7 costs. They have Inazuma. They don't have Nukama Land. That card is really helpful for Ivankov, just being able to always ditch a card, always draw a card, always help your hand side. Like, it's just so beneficial to the deck and the strategy. But it seems like they didn't find 7 cost of Ivankov there either, because they would have played the Inazuma off of it, which is really good. I swing for 7, they counter out, and I do play down that Yamato this turn. It being an 8k or a 7k rusher is really good, and then I'm able to give the extra Dawn to my leader to be a 9k swing and stay at 6k the next turn. I feel really good about that. I've got 3 2ks and 2 1ks in my hand. I'm chilling. I also have a blocker on field. Even if they slam down a 7 cost here into a double summon, I'm kind of cool. They have a buggy to stack their deck. I never thought about playing that card in here, but it does make sense. And then they just fucking shear you me, and they pitch this Gum Gum King Cobra. Hold on. I want to read this card again because I saw this and I was like, holy shit, it's like this card was made for Ivankov. Up to one of your leader or character cards gains 2,000 power this battle. Then if you have 4 or less cards in hand, that card gains 2,000 power, 2,000 more power for this battle. So it's a 4k buff for blue if you have 4 or less cards in hand. Really, really cool. Really awesome artwork on it. Honestly, that card's awesome. I really, really like that. But let's keep moving. He played the Shiryu, which you return a character to the owner's hand, and then you ditch your whole hand. So now he's at 0 cards in hand. His leader's going to trigger. His Inazuma is going to trigger. He's going to go back up to 4. Crazy, man. That Shiryu is so good for the deck. And it's a 10k body. And he just stacked his deck, so he knew what he was going to draw. Really, really good. I have the Kikunojo here, and I also have Double Dawn attached, so I'm feeling really, really saucy here. I've got a 9k swing, and then I've got another 9 and a 10. I'm chilling. He has the Gum Gum Champion Rifle, which does bottom deck my blocker. Fortunately, I used the Dawn attach before it got bottom decked. It sucks that it got bottom decked, but I swing another 10, and they do go to 11, putting them down to 1 card in hand left. I think I have it on the crackback. I don't really see a world where they win here, where I'm a 7k leader with 6, 7, 8, 9 counter in hand and 2 life. I'm pretty confident I've got this one in the bag. Let's put the fries in the bag, bro. I do think they struggled not seeing the 7 costs. The 7 costs are really, really effective, and I actually end up deciding to counter out of this because I want to keep my... No, I don't. I'm tripping. I'm thinking of a different game. I don't think there's a reason to take this life either. They could play Jinbei. They don't have a discard this turn, but they could play Jinbei. Jinbei is good in Ivankov just because you have Nukama land. You can pitch a card, and Jinbei gets the rush, and but again, like, I just go 11 here, and they shouldn't be able to counter out unless they have some crazy counter events. And they have this one. It doesn't do anything. They concede. They do have the Hannibal, but it looks like they just found it, which kind of sucks. Hannibal on curve into Inazuma is really, really good. And then following it up with Ivankov into something like 6 cost Luffy or another Inazuma. You only trigger 1 Inazuma a turn because you can't have... It just won't double trigger. But still, just flooding your board with bodies is what Ivankov really wants to do, and unfortunately they just didn't get to do that well. And I do think that I got to show off what Oden really wants to do here. I was super defensive, and I was beefy. I had good bodies the whole game. It felt great. Let's go ahead and jump into the last game. All right, y'all, this is the last game, and it's going to be against Carrot. Green Carrot, another one that got some awesome support out of EB04. We need to do a testing video on this one as well, so expect that here in the next week. I'm super excited for that leader, at least to test it out. You know, I might not play it, but I do think it has some potential. Originally reading the new cards that it got, it seemed insanely cracked, but revisiting it, I think that it might just be a little overhyped, you know, when you think, oh my god, I can restand my Law and Beppos and swing 11, 11, 11, 11 in one turn. Like, yeah, that's broken. But are you going to have a game where you get to the point of having 2 Law and Beppos on turn and then have a turn after that where you get to play the card to swing all that many? Maybe. Yeah, I could definitely see some games going to that point. There's a lot of decks that are stally and can get to that point, but I don't know. Maybe I'm tripping. Maybe Carrot is really top tier secretly, but I think it's like tier 1.5, maybe tier 2. I think it's still really good. You have a lot of Dawn restanding. That Bart card is hilarious in here. I did not realize that it triggers when they use their leader effect on your cards. It's kind of funny. I searched with Otama to get that Kikunojo. I do have the Otama into Yamato, which feels really good. I'm chilling. I'm a 6k leader. Attack for 7. But what really sucks is that Oden likes these 5 cost characters. And you know what doesn't like 5 cost characters? Carrot leader. It can rest them anytime it wants, as long as they have a Minx on field. And that's their whole deck, except for Bart, apparently. And here comes the Carrot. They're just going to freeze down my Yamato, which sucks. I really didn't want that to happen, but I kind of expected it. You know, it's the name of that deck is play Carrot and freeze your opponent's stuff. So that or Inarashi or now the big Carrot and Law and Beppo. and they're just gonna go 8 at my face. You know, they realize it's not worth. There's no point to attack my body when it's frozen. I can't do anything with it other than use it for Dawn. I'm at 7, and I could easily play my Kikunojo here, but I don't think it's correct. I think playing my Hiyori into an Izo is correct, because now I want them to have to... I'm forcing them, basically saying, you better have another carrot or I'm going to have another threatening body on field. And it also allows me to get extra Dawn that turn, and allows me to get a free 2k counter every turn. It just feels really, really good. I'm attacking for 8. I use that Perona, search for that DMG, and I'm feeling good. I'm feeling pretty good. I've got not a whole lot of counter in hand, but remember, our Wano cards have they have 1k counters written on them. He uses DMG to rest my stuff, which feels really painful. Resting down my Izo sucks, but no, he didn't use DMG. What the fuck did he do with that? Hold on. Sorry. I think he used it for counter. No? Oh, he pitched it off a Bart. I'm sorry. I got confused there. He pitched it off a Bart after resting my Izo. And he's got the carrot to be able to lock it down if he wants. And I'm just praying he doesn't have another carrot. I also hate that he swung into my Momo here. I was getting an insane value off of that. But, man... Here comes. I kind of hate it. It does happen. He swings 6 into my Yamato. I'm not going to let that go. I'm going to use the Izo effect to minus the carrot by 2. And basically, like I said, force him to have another one or another card that freezes my body so that I can still swing with the next turn. That's the goal. He has Mystems into another carrot, so he is able to keep it frozen. Very unfortunate. He's able to restand a whole bunch of Dawn. And now he's looking at me like, I'm about to smack you big. 9k coming at the face. And I can definitely counter out of this. It's just, do I want to or not? He's at 2 life. I don't really have bodies on the board, so I do need to counter out of this. I need to establish some more bodies, or I need to start getting really aggressive with that Kikunojo and leader play. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go ahead and put some Dawn on my leader. I'm going to slam down this Kikunojo, and I'm going to get some extra Dawn on my leader, swing for 9. Just asking him for a whole bunch of counter cards. Gonna restand my leader, swing again. I'm 7k. Got to swing for 9 and 10. Asked him for a whole bunch of cards. He gave me the Bart blocker and that life, which is fine. I'm okay with that. Really just hoping for not Law and Beppo this turn. That's the goal. No Law and Beppo, please. He's gonna try and take out my Yamato, and I don't want to give it to him, but I realize that no matter what, it's going to get locked, or he's going to beat into it again. So I'm going to see if he'll beat into it again, and he decides not to. He's just going to attack my leader, and I give him a 1k. You know, I don't want to go down to 0 if I can help it. He does have a leader swing into the Yamato. I give it to him. I don't want to give up my 2ks or my Roger. And he swings 7 and freezes my Izo. I get another Roger out of life, which is funny. And then there it is, the carrot. Getting to restand his stuff. You know, like I said, this is good. It is powerful. This is exactly what you want to do with the deck. But where I'm 7k, like, I'm kind of just chilling. I can trash a card here for Izo effect. He does get to restand some Dawn and put it on his leader, which is going to be nice. But another 7k at my face. I can defend this as well. I take it, though, because I realize that next turn is the last turn of the game for me or for him. So it's up to him to decide if it's me or him. And he has the carrot blocker. And I'm thinking to myself, this is so funny. Because I definitely, I'm just going to go ahead and warn you. I throw this game. I thought to myself, I was like, oh, I just win here. I play Roger, and there's no way he can counter out. You know, he just loses. Like, he takes the life, and then he loses because I swing 13, and he can't counter out. But it just kind of plays out a little bit differently than that. I'm not able to attach a Dawn to my leader here, so I'm not able to become 7k. I think that would have made all the difference if I had one of my Dawn movers on field. Because I go 5, and he counters a 1k. I go 8, and he counters out of that with exactly enough. He had 1k more than than needed. And I do think that if I played this a little differently, maybe if I used DMG and then just divvied my Dawn up, I would have been better off, because he had what, 9k there. So if I had just gone DMG, left me with 6 Dawn, the Kiku's what, an 8k? Yeah, then I got 3 here, 2 more here, 1 here, so I go 10, 10. I don't think there's a way that he got out of that. I think, hold on. What was his last card? Yeah, he wouldn't have gotten out of that. I think I threw there with the Roger play. Yeah, I was a little overconfident in that I was thinking he wouldn't have enough counter to stop it all. But, you know, sometimes you win, sometimes you lose, and sometimes that's a good lesson to slow down, look at it, and think about it just a little bit more. However, I thought this was still another really good game, and yeah, I really enjoyed this deck. Let's go ahead and look at the deck list one more time. All right, y'all, and those were the games. Like I said, this leader is a lot of fun. I really, really urge you to test it out if you haven't already. It's a fun leader. It's a fun time. Really cool cards that are underutilized because they're locked. They're locked behind a leader, right? Like, Izo is, you have to play a Land of Wano or Whitebeard Pirates type leader, and they're not really playing this in Ace, and this is the only red Land of Wano leader that you can play this in, so it's only going in here or Ace, or I guess Newgate, or Marco. None of those decks play it, though. This Yamato also doesn't see play in any other deck because no deck is playing Wano stuff to search it. Then you have this Yamato, which sees some play in Ace, but I think this leader takes a little bit more advantage of it at times. And then this new Kiku Nojo is broken. I really, really like it. And then also Dinjiro has always been locked behind an Oden leader, and we only had one to make it shine at first, but we have this one. We've had it for over a year or two. Actually, fuck, this is 2 years old now. That's crazy. That's really crazy to think about. Wow. Time flies, man. Time really does fly. But I digress. Those were the kind of things I would change. I would also maybe test out some of the other stuff. I know that you can play the Kinemon in here that plays out your 3-cost Akazaya 9 red scabbard cards, so you can play out your Okiku. But Okiku's kind of the best option, and Okiku's just not a great card anymore. I don't know. It'd be interesting to test out Kinemon, though, because I do like that. And there's an Exodia Kinemon deck where you play it on like turn 2, which is really, really funny. But with all that being said, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, smash that like button. Let's try and get it 15 likes. And I hope you have a great weekend. Come back tomorrow for a queen testing video. I'll see you then. Peace.